Have you ever wondered why we keep attracting the same type of people, even when we want something different? Yes, it would be different faces, different names. At the end, actually, the same pain. That is not bad luck. That is also not coincidence. That is actually your wounds speaking louder than your intentions. We don't attract people based on what we want. We attract people based on what is familiar to our nervous system. And familiarity doesn't mean healthy. It means human body is not searching for love. It is searching for recognition. It is searching for something that feels like home. Something that feels familiar, something that feels warm, even if that home was unstable, emotionally distant, or unpredictable. If you grew up having to earn attention, you may now feel magnetized to the people who make you to prove your worth. If love was inconsistent, your body may confuse an anxiety with chemistry. If affection was conditional, you may be drawn to the people who withhold it. Not because they are special, but because your wounds recognize the pattern. What most of us didn't want to hear is that attraction is often unhealed pain in disguise. Your nervous system knows it and says, I know this feeling. And you know already that our brain doesn't want to be uncomfortable, all the time want to know all of the things that is familiar to it. So you didn't fall for them because they are unavailable. You fall because being unavailable feels normal, and it mistakes that recognition for connection. That is why calm people can feel boring. That is why consistency feels suspicious. That is why peace can feel empty at first, because chaos trained you. When someone is distant, your body doesn't relax. It activates. It starts performing, overthinking, hoping, and also waiting. Not because you want them, not because they are something that you need to get, but because you're chasing a resolution that you never got. You're not obsessed with the person around you. You're obsessed with the idea that this time you will finally be chosen. This time they will stay. This time you will be enough. This time the story will end up differently. This time they will recognize how worthy you are. Many of us are unconsciously trying to heal old wounds through to the new people. We are trying to turn emotional neglect into attention, abandonment into loyalty, rejection into validation. But what you're forgetting is that nobody can heal a wound that they never caused. Let me remind you of something that can change everything. Unhealed wounds didn't just attract pain, they mistake pain for love. Your body learns pattern before your mind learns boundaries. So even when logic says this isn't good for you, your nervous system says it is familiar. Stay. This is why walking away from a situation or anyone feels so terrifying. Not because you're losing someone, not because you're losing love, but because you're losing an identity that you built around chasing it. An identity that learned love must be earned. Attention must be chased. Connection must hurt. But real love doesn't activate survival mode. It doesn't make you guessing. It never does. It doesn't make you feel replaceable. Real friendships, real relationships feel safe. It feels calm. But safety feels boring to a wounded nervous system. Healing is not finding better people first. It is about becoming unfamiliar with chaos. It is about retraining your body to feel calm without guilt, to receive without proving, to rest without fear. And that is uncomfortable because once you stop chasing emotional, unavailable people, you are not just letting go of them. You're letting go of the hope that someone else finally fixed the pain you never learned how to hold yourself. That is the real grief. But here's actually the awakening. The moment you stop asking, why do I attract the people who hurt me? And start asking, what inside me still believes that this is what love looks like? At that time, everything shifts. Because your wounds are actually not a life sentence. They are map. They show you where the healing is needed. They show you what actually your nervous system normalized. They show you what love was not supposed to be. And once you heal, attraction changes. You stop craving intensity. You start valuing consistency. You stop mistaking an anxiety for patience. You stop recognizing peace as a power. You stop chasing people who mirrors your wounds. And you start attracting people who meet your wholeness. And the goal is also not to be chosen by anyone. The goal all along is to choose yourself. The goal is to choose yourself, to know that you matter. Because the moment you heal the wound, the pattern, it loses its grip. And the people who once felt irresistible will suddenly feel irrelevant, not because they changed, but because you did. So what I'm saying is, when you heal, you won't attract the same type of people. The friendships, the relationships that you have, they will become shallow. They will become distant because you heal. You are not the same person. You attract people based on your wounds. And once you start healing your wounds, at that time, even the relationship with the closest friends becomes distance because you are not the same person. You are not operating with the same energy as they are anymore. And that's why at that time you need a new environment, new people, new community, new friendships, new relationships, because you healed yourself. And if they won't heal themselves, they cannot operate with the same energy level as you do. If you grow up having to perform for acceptance, you are attracted to the people who make you audition every day, every conversation, every text. You're consistently proving, because that is the only version of connection that your nervous system recognizes. If you experienced abandonment, you attract people who leave, not because you want to be left, but because your wound is trying to rewrite the ending. It will say, this time I will make them stay. This time I will be enough. See what's happening? You are not drawn to the people around you. Or you are not obsessed with one person. You're being pulled into a pattern. And here's actually the cruelest part. The moment someone treats you with consistency, respect, and clarity without games, without drama, without making you prove yourself, there is something that you cannot deal with. You think something is missing, something is wrong, something is not the way that you want to be. Because calm doesn't feel right, respect doesn't feel right, clarity doesn't feel right. And what is missing there is a struggle. You want to struggle again. You want the same familiar things. When you're wounded, you're operating in a system that you all the time search everything outside of yourself. You learn that being in an environment that is messy, chaotic, and disrespect is a normal thing. And now you won't give disrespect and calmness, peace for yourself. So you are searching love, peace, everything outside of yourself. And when someone new comes into your life, you're hoping that they love you the way that you are not allowing yourself to love yourself. You're hoping to finally heal your childhood wound through to them. Another thing that you need to consider is that all the time you accept people based on your wounds. Your wounds want inconsistency, disrespect, distance, criticism, unavailability. At that time, you accept those people. At that time, you have no standards. At that time, everyone who comes with all of these, you're gonna accept them. And in a state of leaving, you accept that friend. You double down. Because now it is not about you. It is about proving your wound wrong. You also become obsessed with getting people to change, to see you, to choose you, to think it is about them. But it is all about you rewriting the original story of yourself. If I can make them notice me, then it is proof that I am valuable. Then it is proof that I'm lovable. Then it is proof that I matter. Then it is proof that I'm enough. It ends or it continues in these painful cycles. Either way, you are devastated. But not because you lost people, because once again, your wound was proved right. See, I told you, you are not enough. You are not valuable. You are not lovable. You are not the one who deserves respect. And then you do it again and again and again with all the people around you who feels exactly the same. Here's the question that you need to ask yourself. What if the people who hurt you aren't the problem? What if your attraction to the people who hurt you is the problem? Now here's when really everything gets more uncomfortable. You're actively choosing your own suffering, not consciously, but your wounded self is all the time making the decisions for you. And it will all the time choose the people who re-traumatize you. But I can't help who I'm attracted to. Yes, you can. You just haven't done the work to change what attraction means to your nervous system. Attraction is learned, and what is learned can be also unlearned. Right now, Your body is programmed to feel attraction when it detects familiar pain patterns because your wound only recognizes love that requires suffering. So how you can break the cycle? First of all, acknowledge your wounds. Stop pretending you already figured out. Get honest about what hurt you and how that hurt is still running your life. And step two is to look at your three last relationships. What does these people have in common? Not surface details. What pain pattern they activate? What familiar disappointment did they all deliver? And step three is to recognize. Recognize that red flags your wounds cause green flag. Make up a list of the traits you are attracted to. Now ask yourself, is this a healthy attraction or a wound attraction? Does this quality makes you feel safe or it makes you feel anxious? Am I drawn to this because it is good for me or it is familiar to me? And then step four is to retrain your nervous system. Your body needs to learn that actually safety is not boring, that consistency is actually not weakness, that peace is not a red flag. This takes time. This takes exposing yourself to healthy connections even when they feel wrong. And then the next step is to choose with your healed self, not with your wounded self. Before you make any decision about anything, ask yourself, is my wound is making the choices or my highest self is making these choices? If it is your wound, then at that time try to do the opposite. It feels impossible at first. Your nervous system day by day learn how to be relaxed, how to not be anxious, how to be safe. And slowly you will start to recognize the peace. And I leave you with a sentence that I read somewhere. The people who make your heart race are the people who make your wound dance. Now, if you want to know how to let go and detach completely, do not forget to watch this video. See you there.